And here we are. Hello, hello. This is going to be a relatively short and quick video about a quick start for Zbrush 2021.6.6. That's this version right here. This is usually how I start every first run of Zbrush, regardless of version. So, but this is just going to be how we get this program ready to go, and just kind of the basic introduction, if you will. So this is normally what you would see or something like this on the first run, okay? So there's a couple of things that we need to be aware of and set up real quick, okay? So first of all, right here we have our light box. It's a very useful tool. We will be talking about it, but for now we're going to make it go away. You want to remember this keyboard shortcut, the comma. That's going to make the light box go away or come back, comma, on the keyboard. Remember, you're using keyboard shortcuts as much as we can because it is faster and that matters, okay? Next, some of us will have all this empty space right here on the sides. Depending on your background color, you may or may not be able to see it, but that's because the document is only here, and over here there's really nothing. A quick way to get around that is to go right here to Document, hit New Document, and they'll maximize it to our screen area. Another thing we want to do right here in Document is right here on back on the range, we want to bring that down to 0. We want a nice flat background to work with, okay? Next, we're going to go right here to the material, and this popular red wax material, not super conducive to what we're doing, so we're going to hit basic material right down here on standard materials, basic material. We're going to change it to that, and after that we're going to save as startup material, okay? Now this is going to be our default material in ZBrush starts, and likewise on document, once we have it maximized and the background is nice flat gray, we want to save that as startup doc right here, okay? Save as startup doc. Now ideally, especially on our home machines, this will be kind of what ZBrush starts with every time, okay? So quick start to how to get to modeling. Over here on the side we have the tool palette, and what we want to do is we want to keep in mind that we really, for the most part, in almost all cases, when we're sculpting models or whatever it is, we just want to save and load tools right here. We don't want to go to File, okay, and Save As, because that's going to save as a project. It's going to be very, very large, cumbersome file. You don't really want that. Something else that we want to pay attention to and notice is that the menus in ZBrush, unlike Windows, are alphabetical. Just keep that in mind. They're doing some things a little bit different. Okay, so by default, ZBrush starts in 2.5D mode. You can grab things, but you can't really manipulate them. You can't really do anything. You can't really do anything. It's 2.5D. Okay, it's just dropped onto the canvas. Okay, whenever you have 2.5D elements, you hit Control N, N like night. There you go, N like November. And you clear those, okay? What you want to do to get to sculpting is over here, select one of your tools. Let's say I want to start with a sphere. And come over here to the canvas. You know, instead of a sphere, I'm going to do a cube, okay? I'm going to right here to the cylinder, and we can hold and drag onto the canvas. And we can hold Shift to make it snap, so that it's just going to zoom in and out, okay? So if we move our mouse, we're going to control the angle and the zoom, or rather the size. But when we hold Shift, it's just going to be the size, okay? When we're ready, we're going to let go of the mouse, and now we have this still 2.5D element, okay? What we want to do to get to sculpting is right here is Edit Mode. The shortcut for that is T. Please use the shortcuts T to go into edit mode. Now we have our save frames. With right mouse click, we can rotate the camera. Practice this as much as you can. We're just rotating the camera, okay? With Alt held, Alt and right click, we are panning, right? We are panning, Alt and right click. And we're holding right click, we're holding Alt, we're letting go, we're holding Alt, then right click, and letting go of Alt. That's when we're zooming in. Alternatively, you can use Control and right click, and that'll zoom you in. There's a couple of different ways to do this. Me personally, I prefer the Alt right click, let go of Alt. Okay, it's just a lot faster in my experience. The choice is yours. So yeah, we have this right click, and if you pan it outside of your view somewhere, it's like, oh, I don't know where it is. You hit F for focus, and it's gonna bring that back in here. Okay, and to sculpt at this point, we have on the standard brush. You notice that it's not gonna let us sculpt anything, because once we drop this in here, this is still a primitive shape. So what we want to do is make it Polymesh 3D right here. We're going to make it Polymesh 3D. Some of our options will change. And now we can actually sculpt. Okay, now we're ready to start learning how to sculpt, which of course there's a lot to it. But this is going to be just our basic quick start guide. So practice this. Practice just rotating. Get comfortable with this, because this needs to become muscle memory. You'll be doing this very, very often. So that right click, rotating, just trying to control. Don't use this as a shortcut, because that gives you, if you get used to this, you're not going to have that precise control of, oh, I just want to move this here, oh, I just want to move this here, I just want to check it out here, And likewise with Alt, you're just going to pan. Okay, just get used to this. Okay, Alt, right click, let go of Alt. Okay, Alt, right click, let go of Alt. Right click is still held, and I'm moving the mouse up and down. Okay. Alright, so let's practice this. So always remember, edit, gotta be on, and make Polymesh 3D before you can sculpt. Okay?